Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good day. Back today with another show. I thought I'd do a quick review, really, of the Atletico Madrid game. So obviously disappointing, really, to lose the game. But we're going to discuss the game today. So we're going to go through some points, some key points from the game. So please, guys, get your comments in below. Please get your comments in. Let me know what you thought of the game today. We're going to discuss a lot of different areas. We're going to discuss new signings, we're going to discuss what we need for the future, etc. So please do get involved, guys. Get in the comments as well. Big up Aileen Tenno, big up mate. We need a whole new midfield. Yeah, we do. We do need new midfield players. That is the worry. I don't think Ten Hag will do that with the way he operates. But yeah, not happy with the way we've obviously operated this window. But let's get into the game. So obviously, really, we were probably the better team for most of the game, weren't we, really? I thought that we did create a few chances. I think Martial had an early chance, didn't he? Maguire had a header he should have put away. So we should have won the game, really. But I think overall, the likes of Rashford, Bruno, even Martial with his finishing, I think we could have done better in the final third. I think the decision making at times was quite poor. I think at times we needed to play that extra pass, and you saw Rashford taking a few longer shots. I don't think Ten Hag will be too happy with that, to be honest with you. So I think it was a bit of a tough game. I think Atletico, it was quite a physical game. It wasn't really a pre-season game at all. But I think, disappointed to obviously lose, but the result isn't really the important thing. It's more the performance. I think the second half, I think Eriksen and Malacia, I think Malacia for the whole game, really. Eriksen, particularly when he came on, made a huge difference. Elanga nearly got on the end of one of his crosses. I think Eriksen really did make a big difference. I think it was his corner as well that nearly found where Maguire should have scored from as well. So I think, there's a reason to be disappointed. I think McTominay, Fred, I thought Fred did okay. But I think, again, McTominay and Fred as a midfield two, we just don't get enough control there. I think that Martial, apparently he's gone off with an injury, apparently perhaps a hamstring injury, which is a worry. I said with Martial, he's got to start staying fit more often. He can't keep getting injured, but Martial's gone off with an injury, which is a big worry if that's serious. Sancho obviously is ill. Shaw is ill. So we are in a bit of a state at the moment. If you look at our squad, and we've got our first game next weekend, we do need a lot of players. That's for sure. So yeah, let me know, guys. Let me know, please. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the game. As I said, I thought we played okay. Created enough chances to score a couple of goals. But João Felix, at the end of the day, he was the player who had the extra bit of quality, really, that made the difference. So it is what it is. But I think that game, the lineup, the bench, the game as a whole showed how far we need to improve this squad. You look at the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Rashford. I think particularly those two in the final third, I just thought they were quite rash. They gave the ball away too often. I think McTominay in midfield often goes hiding. I think he looks too much for a battle rather than actually playing football at times. I don't know what side of the bed he woke up on this morning, McTominay, but I'm sure it was the wrong one. He was just going in for battles. Too much, just too rash at times. And then Fred obviously got sent off. I think we saw a lot of the players' weaknesses today. You look at the goal that Atletico scored, Dalot should have got closer to Felix. I think Dalot, to be honest with you, I think he played okay going forward. I thought he was okay. But again, one-on-one defensively, Dalot, not good enough. So I think a lot of the players' weaknesses shine through again today. Alien Tenor says we need to sign Cesco, Ruiz, Frenkie de Jong, and two more players at least. Yeah, look, I would be looking into the likes of Benacer from AC Milan, Ruiz. I would be looking at those type of players that are going to be around the 30-35 million pound mark. I would be looking at those types of signings right now, because Frenkie de Jong is not going to come before the Brighton game. I don't think Frenkie de Jong is even going to come by the end of August. I mean, Frenkie de Jong obviously might not come at all, but that's going to drag on a little bit longer by the looks of it. So we do need midfield players, and from what we've seen today, from what we've seen in the last few months, we need really at least two midfield players. We've lost Matic and Pogba. no matter what you thought about Matic, obviously coming towards the end of his career, Pogba, we could talk about inconsistency, but you still lost two good players at the end of the day. And you've got McTominay and Fred. So I think we need a lot more investment. I'm worried that these players are failing in the second half. Yeah, that's the other worry. I think under Ranić, we saw a little bit of intensity for the first few games, and then it dropped off. And we did against Aston Villa as well. We did seem to play a lot better in the first half, didn't we? So it was the same against Villa, and then we dropped off. So the same happened today, really. And also Atletico brought on their better side in the second half, so that probably impacted it as well. Hopeful Devil, big up for coming along, mate. Missed the game. Do we look slightly underprepared? What I'd say, Hopeful Devil, is we look like a team that is playing better than we did last season in terms of the general performance. Like we are playing better than we did last season. I know that's not hard to do. We are playing a little bit better than we were last season, right? But the players' weaknesses are still there to be seen. That's what I'd say, Hopeful Devil. I think this comment's good from Alien Tenor as well about the fading in the second half. I think that has been a factor as well. We haven't looked quite as fresh in the second half. Also, in terms of the quality of the players, we're seeing that there's only so much you can do with these players. You know, Anthony Elanga is a good, honest lad. McTominay is a good, honest lad. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with these types of players. You can't make Scott McTominay into a world-class midfield player. You can't make Anthony Elanga into an incredibly creative goal-scoring winger or forward. You just can't do that. You just can't do that. So the thing is, Hopeful Devil, I'd say I'm concerned about the game next week against Brighton, not just because of today. I think we'd all be concerned, even if we won today, even if we won against Villa last week, we'd all still be concerned about the game against Brighton because we know that these players have been very inconsistent over the years. We know some of them aren't good enough. But I think we're still a long way off. That would be my assessment of Hopeful Devil. We need at least 4 more players, I think. At least 4 more players. And actually, a game like today might be necessary. And obviously, we don't like losing football matches. But the game against Villa last week and today, those games may have been necessary just to show the board, just to show the Glazers, to show Murto, to show Arnold. We've played against Aston Villa, and they dominated us in the second half. We played against Atletico Madrid. They frustrated us. They won 1-0 against us last season. They won 1-0 again this season. I know it's pre-season, but I think last week's result, today's result, will just show to the board and Murto and Arnold, hopefully, look at this. You know, Ten Hag will be saying, look at this. I still haven't got the right profiles that I need. And hopefully that'll put a bit of pressure on. Exactly. Giorgio B, thanks a lot for coming along, mate. I fully agree. I said on Twitter earlier, you cannot improve players' decision making just from a coach. You can help develop a player. You can help them pick up a few more parts of their game. You know, you can tell them to run in a different position. You can tell them to sit in a different position. But you cannot teach a player to be a good decision maker. It's like you cannot, because I'm also a tutor as well in my own time. I tutor students. I cannot make fantastic students, overnight. You cannot make somebody who doesn't understand something an expert overnight. You know what I mean? So you need that patience. You cannot make bad decision makers good decision makers overnight. So he needs signings, and we need time. He needs time to get his profiles. Oris talks football. Was there any players that impressed you today? Yes, I thought that Fred was quite good today. I know he got sent off, but I thought Fred played decently well for most of the game. But again, we saw his weaknesses. I thought Malacia played well. I thought Eriksen played well. I don't think there's any other players that really deserve any praise from that game. I thought Malacia and Eriksen in particular were probably the 2 standouts for me. Yes, this is the thing, Alien Tenno. I agree with you. You can see the principles for Ten Hag, but he doesn't have the players. I thought Ralf Rangnick again. I thought Ralf Rangnick had some good ideas. Ralf Rangnick had a clear idea of how he wanted to play. He isn't really a manager, Ralf Rangnick, but I thought he has a philosophy, but he just didn't have the right players to execute. And yeah, he made some bad decisions, and he'll admit that. And he'll admit he's not really, his best attributes are not suited to be a manager. But even he tried, and he couldn't. But there's 17 people watching right now, guys. Please, guys, smash a like on the video if you're here. Please subscribe if you're new, and please get involved as well in the chat as well. We already know we can't win titles with Fred and Maguire. Yeah, we cannot win titles with the majority of these players. Maybe we can't even win sort of League Cup, Europa Leagues with a lot of the players we've got, Giorgio. So it's going to take a lot of time to develop his squad. Yes, I agree. We need losses in pre-season. Yeah, that's the thing, Hopeful Devil. I think in pre-season you don't want everything to go perfectly well in pre-season. You don't always want everything to go sparklingly clean and you look incredible, because you don't get a test then. You need to be tested. We were tested last week against Villa. We were tested again today. And I'm hoping that the board, Murto and Arnold, will see that and react. I really do, because we need to. Tony, Charlie, decision making not good enough. Football intelligence is too low with Malacia and Ericsson. Exactly. Luke Shaw, some of the passes that Malacia was playing, Luke Shaw wouldn't have played those passes. Some of the recoveries that Malacia was making, Shaw wouldn't have done. Malacia, for me, starts next week. No doubt about it. Ericsson, for me, if he can, starts next week. I don't know whether he'll be able to. Well, obviously, Ten Hag will assess him. But Ericsson will start for me next week, the way that we are looking at the moment. I thought he was very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, Giorgio. I think with Rashford, I've always said with Rashford, Marcus Rashford's movement in behind is very good. Rashford is obviously a quick player. I think his movement is very good. But when he's on the ball, Rashford, I think too often he makes far too many rash decisions. You can see he's called Rashford for a reason, I suppose. But it's not slander for Rashford. You know, I've got no agendas against players. It's just with Rashford, if he keeps it simple, plays 1-2s with players, Rashford looks really good. But when Rashford tries these sort of longer shots, you know, it's the same with Bruno as well. I think if they keep things more simple, we'll play better as a team. And that's what I think Ten Hag sort of wants. That's the thing, Eddie and Taylor. Like, with Bruno, I think we need to give him time to see if he can adapt. I think we still need to increase the sort of sample size. But yeah, he was ineffective. He didn't play well. We have to admit that. Same with Donny van der Beek when he came on. Donny van der Beek didn't play particularly well for me. Giorgio, Garbage made a good point. We fans are knowing the player weaknesses. Ten Hag needs to see them for himself. Yeah, exactly. You know, we've seen this squad last season. We all probably felt very, very embarrassed by this squad last season. These players let us down big time. Ten Hag needs to know who he can trust. The reason why he's brought Martinez in, not just for his ability on the pitch, but also the trust he can have for him off the pitch. Leader in the dressing room, his mentality. He looks like a real winner. That's why Martinez has come in. But guys, there's 40 people watching right now. This is a lot of people for a channel like mine. I really appreciate it. Please, guys, smash a like on the video, and please do subscribe if you're new as well. I bring out content all the time. We do a player analysis. This is we've got a lot of people here right now. I really appreciate it. Please do follow me on Twitter as well at ThreadmanChazza, the same name that I've got on my YouTube username. So please, guys, do smash a like on the video. Get involved in the comments. Let's have an honest conversation here. Alien Tenor, Ericsson played 2 balls in and they should have both been goals. Exactly. The one to Maguire and the one to Elanga, I think it was. So yeah, Ericsson looked very, very good. Smash the like button, please, people. Yes, please do. So let's have a little look through the analysis now. So obviously, I want this to not just be a reactionary post-match reaction. I also want to talk about a bit of analysis. So if we look at the first half, I actually thought we played decently well. You saw Martial dropping into pockets a lot of the time. You saw Rashford's movement, as I said, in behind was very good. You saw Malacia playing a few of those balls in behind towards Rashford. You saw Malacia sort of dictating from deep a couple of times. It was really, really impressive. Maguire as well. I thought Maguire, I think he put the ball out a couple of times, but I thought Maguire defended pretty well throughout the whole 90, to be honest. I thought Maguire was okay. He's still going to have his weaknesses, Maguire. Don't get me wrong. Harry Maguire, still recovery pace. He's very slow on the turn. But I thought he actually defended pretty well. I think I'm not going to have an agenda against any player. If they play well, I'll call it out. If they don't, I'll call it out. McTominay, I don't know what McTominay is. It was McTominay. He thought he was Eric Cantona today. He had the collar, didn't he? He had the collar up. He thought he was Eric Cantona today, McTominay. It was quite funny. But yeah, McTominay was on a mission today. I thought Fred actually really, really good, particularly on the left-hand side. It looked like Fred today was given a bit more onus to sort of be a more attacking player, didn't it? So if you look in the first half, we saw Fred a lot of the time linking up with teammates in that sort of left half space. He was actually linking up with players quite high up the pitch. So I thought Fred actually played quite well in terms of our attacking play today. I thought Fred, sometimes he's Brazilian, sometimes he isn't. Sometimes he's Fredinho, sometimes he's, I don't know, Fred. I don't know how else to call him. But I thought Fred, to be honest with you, I thought he was quite good today in that first half. I'm just thinking Martial. Yeah, Martial's chance, that should have definitely gone in. But I think if you looked at Martial in that first half, he was very, very bright. I'm hearing some reports that Martial maybe picked up a knock, which is very, very disappointing. And I'd be very, very disappointed if he ends up being injured. But Martial, I thought he looked like he had that burst of pace back that we saw a couple of years ago. So I think that was impressive for the first half. But please, guys, there's 38 people watching right now. We're on 7 likes. So please, guys, do get the likes up. Please smash a like on the video. Please get involved in the comments, guys. If you're new to the channel as well, please do subscribe. We put content. I put content out. Try and do 3 or 4 videos a week. I'm going to look at some forward players that Manchester United should sign. Next week, we're going to bring that video out, I think. So we're going to look at wide players and forward players that Man United should sign. Go and follow me on Threadman on Twitter as well. I do lots of analysis and thoughts on there. I'll be doing a pre-season mega sort of thread analysis next week, I think, as well. So we've got a lot of content coming out. So please do like the video here, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and go and follow me on Twitter as well if you want to see that. Elian, yeah, I think you are right. Yes, you are right. That I think you saw that as well. Dalot didn't have as much impact, Tony. I don't think Martial. I don't think Dalot had much of an impact as well with Martial as well. I just don't think that right side. I don't think we linked up that well on the right. I think if you saw the game today, a lot of our threat came down the left with Malacia. Although Rashford, his decision making wasn't great at times, a lot of the play did go on that left-hand side. So I think without Sancho, I think we do struggle with our threat down that right-hand side. So I think you are right. Hopeful Devil, Malacia and Eriksen being best players showed that we could have got more quantity when it comes to signing. Exactly. And also, Hopeful Devil, it's not about, I've always said this, when you go for signings in the transfer market, it's not about, I'm not bothered about how much a player costs. I'm really not. Eriksen made sense. We didn't just sign Eriksen on a free because he was a free. We signed Eriksen on a free because Ten Hag wanted him. He suits the system because we need a creative player who's tidy in possession. We needed a player that's a playmaker. We needed a player that was good on set pieces. We need to be better on set pieces this season. You saw in the game in the second half, Eriksen's corner for Maguire, who should have scored. We need to be more of a threat on set pieces. The last season, Liverpool and Man City were 2 of the teams that scored the most goals from corners last season. And they're 2 of the best teams in the league, but those set piece goals are crucial. So we need to be more threatening on set pieces. So that's a big reason why Eriksen came in. It's not about how much a player costs. Down the years, Man United have gone for players. We've gone for those big names. I'm not bothered, right? We've signed Malacia, who we snatched for 12 million. We've signed Eriksen on a free. We've signed Martinez for 50 million or 55 million or so. We've got a lot more business to do. But as long as Ten Hag wants the player, as long as they fit the system, and as long as the player is attainable, as long as we think they're going to add to the squad, it doesn't matter how much a player costs. I totally agree. Obviously, if the player is worth 150 million, then that's a bit different. But like, for example, it doesn't really matter to me if a player is 10 million, 50 million. If they fit, bring them in. McTominay, he was on a mission today. Yeah, we missed Sancho a lot. The G, I haven't seen you before on the channel, so thanks for coming along. The G, I don't remember you before, so please do subscribe if you are new. The G, thanks a lot for coming along. I thought Ollie was going there much again as these players don't change. Yeah, you cannot. That's what I said. You can only improve players so much in a different system. You know, players can only look so much better. You need better players sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if you look at what Thomas Tuchel did at Chelsea, he took over at Chelsea. And my goodness, they had a big impact. He won the Champions League with Chelsea. But Chelsea had a base of quality that was being underused with Lampard, right? I thought a lot of our players were being underused under Ollie. Right? I think that was true. I think he didn't. I think a lot of the players at the time shouldn't have been signed. But also, I do think that a lot of the players that Ollie had were not particularly fantastic players. Whether the ones he signed weren't, or the ones he took over, he inherited. We didn't really have a great squad balance, and I think Ollie almost made that squad balance worse. So I think that's what Ten Hag is sort of picking up the scraps now of the squad that we had. So it wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. I think you are right, G. Thanks a lot for coming along. Alien Tenno, tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow play Ronaldo, play Martinez. I want to see Ahmad. You know, why is Ilanga getting game time ahead of Ahmad at the moment? I'd rather see Ahmad or Pellistri, really. Maybe Ericsson as well, Alien Tenno. Maybe Ericsson we'll see for a half or something like that, for sure. Maisho Pratama, thanks a lot for coming along, mate. Maguire, I actually thought Maguire played. I thought Maguire was okay today. I thought he played quite well. Obviously, a lot of people on Twitter are not Maguire fans, but I'm not a great fan of Maguire either, generally, but I actually thought Maguire played quite well today, so fair play to him. But we need to see more of it. We need to see more of it. But there's nearly 50 people watching right now, guys. Please get involved in the comments, get the interaction going. We're going to cover the second half now. We've had a quick chat about the first half. We'll have a bit more of a chat now about the second half. Please leave a like. Please subscribe if you're new as well. Lots of content coming out on the channel. Please follow me on Twitter as well if you want to see more analysis. So, second half, as I said, Ericsson was quality. Interestingly, this was an interesting thing. Bruno moved to the left. Rashford went to 9. Ilanga was on the right. And then we had Ericsson and Donny as 8. So that was quite interesting because I would have thought that Rashford would have stayed on the left. Maybe Bruno as a false 9. But it was interesting what Ten Hag did there, moving Bruno out to the left. Whether there was anything behind that in terms of, you know, Bruno hadn't been playing too well, wasn't really creating all that much for us in that central area. So he wanted Ericsson to be the main player in there creating. We'll see. We'll see what happens in future, because I don't think you can leave Christian Eriksen out when he's fully fit. If Eriksen keeps playing like that, I don't think Eriksen's going to be a squad player, guys. What do you guys think? Do you think Eriksen's going to be a starter? Because I think he will. I think I'm not just saying this because of today. I said on Twitter quite a few weeks ago, I think Eriksen will be used more than a lot of people think. You know, Christian Eriksen is, I think he's actually a very underrated player in the history of, like in the last couple of decades or so. I think Christian Eriksen is a top player. I really do. And I think he has to play a lot of games. Obviously, we've got the World Cup. So people who say Donny's finished at Man United, I don't agree with that. I think Donny still has something to offer. But I think that we're going to see Bruno, Donny, and Eriksen all play quite a lot. But for me, Eriksen at the moment, if when he's fully fit, I would start Eriksen in one of the 8 positions or in the 10 position for sure. Yeah, Donny. The issue with Donny is, this is the issue with Donny, right? You cannot not give Donny any criticism, right? You cannot give Donny a complete clean slate. Although I really like Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek has got to do better. He came into a team under Ollie. He wasn't really the right signing for Ollie's system. He went off to Everton, a poor Everton side, didn't really get a kick. In pre-season, he's playing in a number 8 role that he doesn't really suit perfectly, to be honest. Like Donny van de Beek, Ten Hag said this himself, Donny van de Beek is best as a 10. But the issue is, Ten Hag's brought Eriksen in. He's got Bruno already. So where does Donny fit in? And this is the interesting thing. In the first team, where does Donny fit in? I don't think Donny will start most games, but I think Donny will be used throughout the season because of the World Cup, because we've got a lot of fixture congestion. Donny will get games, but I think in our best team, I don't know if Ten Hag sees Donny in that at the moment. I agree again. Yes, he does, but I think we need to give him time. Ayodele Abudu, I think you've just subscribed, mate, so thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it. New subscriber, please join Ayodele as well, guys. If you want to be a new subscriber, please get involved in the channel. We're going to get some big guests on the channel soon. We do lots of analysis of players. We're going to do a scouting video next week on Man United. Who can we sign in the forward positions? So which players can we sign in the forward positions? Please get involved in the comments. Please like, please subscribe if you're new. We do need time. Ten Hag will need time. I always say, and I said this under Ollie as well, a Manchester United manager or any manager in football needs 2 years of work to really see what they can do. At least 2 summer windows, right? And obviously, if Ten Hag was to leave Manchester United in the relegation zone next season, then obviously we need to be having a conversation, right? I'm not saying that you don't criticise Ten Hag at all. But what I'm saying is, any manager that comes into Manchester United, especially with the state of our ownership, the current situation we're in, the failures we've had in recent years, our manager will need 2 full years, even to start assessing him. Even to start assessing the manager, he will need 2 years to fully see what sort of players how to get his profiles in the system, how to get rid of the profiles he doesn't like. He will need 2 years to get the majority of the players out that he doesn't want and to get some players in that he wants. It will take 2 summer windows. It will take 2 January windows to get a few players in as well. So we do need time. We do need time. Yeah, exactly, Maisho Patama. Eriksen will create a lot of chances, and those crosses from Eriksen from it's like from the just outside the box area, so from around 25 yards out, those crosses that he can put into the box, those diagonals, they're going to be so good. They're going to be so good, and I think what you might see as well with Diogo Dalot playing so high for us, you might see Diogo Dalot even benefiting from some of those diagonals as well, because I think Dalot will get involved when we're playing against a team that wants to sit back and be passive, be defensive. We will need a player like Eriksen, and we'll also need a player if Ronaldo were to stay, or if we sign a new striker who's more of a target man ilk. We might need that player with a bit more height to take advantage of Eriksen's crossing. So for sure. Agree about Eriksen, but can you fit in Bruno on the same lineup on a regular basis? I think they can play together, but obviously one of them is going to have to probably play a wider role. One of them's, unless you can put Eriksen in the 8 and play Bruno as a 10 or the other way around, or you could play one of them in a wider role, Tony. To be honest with you, Tony, from what I've seen from Rashford, Elanga, every one of our wingers except Sancho this pre-season, I'm really quite worried about our wide situation. I think we need at least 2 wide players / forward players. At least 2. For me, I think Martial's done well at 9, but he's got an injury concern now. Sancho's ill. Elanga just isn't quite there for me. Ahmad needs development. Pulisic needs development. Rashford isn't playing that well. And I think Eriksen could also play to the left or the right of a 4-2-3-1. I think he could play sort of a more narrow half space role with one of the fullbacks playing more overlapping role. I think that certainly could happen. So on a regular basis, we'll see, but I think you can fit them in a system on paper. But we'll see what other signings we make in wide areas, of course. Obviously, if you do play Eriksen in a wider area, you then lose a little bit of directness. That's the only worry. You lose that movement in behind of Rashford, for example. B.O.B. Toure, I don't think I've seen you as well, Bob Toure, before, so please do subscribe if you're new, mates. Please get involved in the conversation. Thanks for your comments. Some players in the squad are still flopping. Bruno, McTominay, Fred, Martial, Rashford. We need to gradually replace them. I disagree with... I think Fred has done okay. I think Martial has done okay. I think Dalot has done okay. I don't think McTominay and Rashford have been awful in pre-season. I just don't think they've impressed as much as the other 3. But I do agree. I do think we need to start gradually improving this squad. And I wouldn't be sad... all of those players you've mentioned, I wouldn't be sad to see those players being dropped to the bench or even being sold in the future if they don't perform, because we need to have high standards. We need to reach the top under Erik ten Hag. And in order to reach the top, we've got to be ruthless, get rid of the players that don't fit and aren't performing. Alien Tenant, I agree, but when Donny gets his chance, he isn't taking it for me. Yeah, I think the issue is you've got to have an honest conversation with Donny van der Beek, play him in the 10 position, play him in his best position for a number of games and see whether he performs, and then we make a judgment. The G, I think players that don't fit the system will be slowly phased out. Us fans need to chill out sometimes. Exactly. I fully agree, the G. Fully agree, mate. If you think about it, how long did it take Jurgen Klopp, the squad that he inherited, to get to the squad now? There's a lot of players that don't fit the system. We're going to have to make a lot of changes. And I agree, the G. I think you're spot on, mate. I think you're spot on. Oh, just honestly, I didn't see your comment. I didn't just copy your comment, mate. That's amazing. You just said exactly the same thing. Great stuff. Great minds think alike. I want Donny to be more involved in the build-up phase. Yeah, the thing is, Maisho, that when Donny was at Ajax, when he was playing as a number 10, Donny van der Beek was very much a player that was making those third man runs, those runs in behind in the final third. So Donny van der Beek was always part, you've seen under Ten Hag, that 2-3-5 or that 3-2-5 shape. Donny van der Beek was very much part of the five. He was part of that sort of front five shape up top. So I don't think you're going to see Donny in the build-up. Donny can be involved in build-up. He can play as a number 8, but I think Donny is best as a 10. I think Donny is best with his movement in the box, late runs into the box. I think that's where Donny will get his money. He'll get his goals. I was at the Youth Cup final in May. Oh, same Ellie Tenno. I remember I was on the tram. I was on the tram back to the train station when the Frenkie de Jong news broke, and I actually made an analysis on the same night. I was up till God knows what hour in the morning making an analysis on Frenkie de Jong, which is on Twitter if you want to read it at Throwman Chazza. Quick plug there. But yeah, I can't believe we're still here. I can't believe we're still here. It's crazy, isn't it, mate? It's crazy. Rajiv Nepal, Elanga is worse. Yeah, I think Dan James probably offered more for Ollie than Elanga has so far, but we'll see. He's still a young player. I just don't rate Elanga that highly. I think we need more. We have very promising young players starting to break through. Yeah, exactly. We have nobody right now from that Youth Cup team, or even from, I think even from the Ghana, Ahmad, Palistri group, that sort of group, I still think they need a lot of development yet. I think James Garner, obviously he hasn't really played much in pre-season. I still think he needs quite a lot of development. So I think you're right, Ellie and Tenno. For Ten Hag's first season, I don't think he's got any, and I mean this, I don't think he's got any youth players that you could really say are ready, that are fully ready yet. And that's why we've got to give him a loan. That's why we've got to give him more time to develop. You look at Phil Foden. Obviously, Phil Foden is a bit of an exception because I don't like to praise Manchester City players, right? But Phil Foden is a very good player. Manchester United don't have anyone. I think even our number 11, and I'm not going to talk about him, but even our number 11, I'm not going to mention his name. His ability, natural ability, isn't as good as Foden's. And Foden was only brought into Manchester City when it was the right time with the right environment around him, and he was eased in slowly. That's what you've got to do with these young players. Elanga came in last season and stayed in. The same happened with Rashford. When Rashford burst onto the scene, Rashford was brought in because Martial was injured for a Europa League game, and Rashford was just brought in, and that was it. I think we've got to be a bit more slow. I think we've got to embed these young players in and we've got to use a better technique. Give these young players time. Let them embed into the team. Just nice and slowly, let them develop over time. I think the likes of Rashford may have even developed too early. He's played so many games and he's now at 24 or 25. I think he's about 24 now, Rashford. Has he hit his ceiling? So you've got to be careful when you embed these young players in. Yes, he does. I agree. Yeah, the Glazers are annoying. Obviously, we all want Glazers out. Obviously, very much fed up with the Glazers. Kobe Mino, yeah, I watched him in the Youth Cup final. Very promising. Almost, he plays a little bit like Pogba in terms of his game. I'm not saying he's as good as Pogba. I'm just saying his attributes sort of fit what Pogba was like when he was younger as well. So give that lad some more time to develop, for sure. It's shocking that Aman and Palestri signed 2 years ago. Exactly, and I think whatever say or no say Ollie had on those deals, they were not the right signings to make at the time. I think we actually needed first team players, we needed midfield players at the time, and I just don't think they were the right sort of players to sign at the time, to be honest. But I think you're right. Yeah, that's what Elanga brings off the ball. He's quite useful with his work rate, tracks his runners, works hard. He's a good and honest lad, but will he ever make it? I don't know whether he offers more than the basics. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what Alien Tenno said earlier. Alien Tenno mentioned about the drop-off in the second half. We had the same thing against Aston Villa. Where we dropped off in the second half. We had the same last season under Ranić away at Aston Villa when we drew 2-2. I think our players, and I think this is something you can sort of track from the Ollie days as well, a lot of our players lack this winning mentality. A lot of our players have not won a really major honour in their career, and that is a bit of a problem. And that's why I think Eriksen coming in, I think obviously he was successful with Inter in Serie A. I'm sure he's won other trophies as well when he was younger, Christian Eriksen. I think that's why I bring in Martinez in, Ajax Player of the Season, mentality. He's won trophies. He knows how to win. He's a warrior. We need these sort of players. Bennett. I cannot remember Bennett. I remember Hansen, the number 10, our number 10. I remember Mino. I remember the fullback as well. Can anybody remind me who was playing right back for us in the Youth Cup final? I can't remember what his name was now, but he played very well as well. Our right back, he was very good. But please, guys, my memory's gone. Please let me know. Bertus, I haven't seen you before, Bertus Camphoff, so please do subscribe if you're new, Bertus. I haven't seen you before, but thanks a lot for coming along. Thanks for getting involved in the comments. Man United lacks creative, classy lefties. Since 18-19, Ten Hag's Ajax played 99% with five lefties, five right. Ideal balance. Yeah. Thank you, Tony Gerardo. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, he was very good. And Bennett, okay, he's a centre back. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't quite know the names there. I think this is a good comment. Hakim Ziyech. Let's talk about him. Hakim Ziyech is apparently wants to. I think he might leave Chelsea. It's been rumoured that he may be allowed to leave Chelsea. For £8 million. £8 million. Would you take Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea for £8 million? I would do that deal. I'm not saying that's our winger signing though. I would take Ziyech, but we need at least one more forward. And if Ronaldo were to leave, we'd need another. So for me, if we take Ziyech as an inverted right winger, obviously he cuts in on his left foot. We've seen Ten Hag use this winger a lot before. I would take Ziyech. He's played under Ten Hag before. Obviously, he hasn't hit the heights at Chelsea, but I think Ziyech, he can also play in a 10 position as well. And so you've got, if you have real bad injuries to number 10 play, obviously we've got a lot of number 10s, I know. But if you had a bad situation in the number 10 area, you can also play as number 10. He's £8 million he's available for. I would do that deal. I still think we need another wide player and another forward if Ronaldo were to leave. But I think that would just be another one to add to the squad. I would certainly do that deal for sure. Let me know, guys. What do you guys think? I agree, Giorgio. I think we do. I agree, Rajiv. I agree. Look, everyone's got their own different thoughts when they watch football. Everyone's got their own different thoughts. I've got my coaching qualification now, just a level 1 FA coaching qualification. But when I go into coaching, I want my team to play possession-based game, and I want my team to be patient when they're playing football. I think that we take far too many early rash decisions when we're on the ball. I think Rashford and Bruno are probably the two biggest culprits of that. I think when they get into the final third, they look for that killer ball too early. And I think when Eriksen plays, you saw today, when Eriksen plays, I think the timing, when he decides to play that pass or do that risky cross, I think it's better. I think he does it on a better occasion when he should do it. And obviously, people say, well, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. I understand all that, but if you look at the way that Pep plays the game, you even look at the way that Liverpool play the game. Really, their three forward players, they are fed. Obviously, the gegenpress, the midfield players, everyone gets into a compact press. When the midfield players win it back, they play normally a short pass to the forward players. They look to counter. And Liverpool score a lot of goals in the box. You know, Sadio Mane scores a lot of headers. They score a lot. Same with Manchester City. They score a lot of goals from short distances. We take a lot of shots from far out. I think if we were to move the ball from side to side, look for openings more patiently, I think we would score more goals. I think we would if we were more patient. So I think you're right, Rajiv. I think you're right. I agree. I think we should go for Ziyech for £8 million. Yes. Yes. Sesko and Ziyech, I would take that. I think we'd need another. If Ronaldo were to leave, I think we need another as well, to be honest with you. Idrissa Gueye for sale. Look, I don't think Idrissa Gueye fits this system. I don't think Ten Hag is looking to sign a ball-winning midfield player. I think he's looking for more of a deep-lying playmaker like Frenkie de Jong. But yeah, Idrissa Gueye, I'm sure somebody will probably snap him up. He's a good player, but I don't think he fits this system. I don't think signing him, I don't think he offers that much more than we've got already in Fred, to be honest with you. I agree. I agree again. 90% of shooting is a goal. 10% is potluck shot. Yeah. There you go. There you go. I think when we were under Ollie, right, when we were managed by Ollie, I think Ollie's philosophy was always to shoot on sight. I don't agree with that. I think you should, from my school of thought, I think from Ten Hag's school of thought, he wants players to be more patient. He wants to see triangles. He wants to see total football, really. He wants to control possession. He wants to be tidy in possession, be secure in possession, wait patiently for an opening, and then fire that dangerous ball in, not do it from 40 yards out unnecessarily. So I think you're right. I think you're right. But please, guys, there's 45 people watching right now. Please do smash a like on the video if you're enjoying the talk. Please get involved in the comments as well. I'll give you a quick update of what's coming next week on the channel. So obviously we've got the game tomorrow against Rayo Vallecano. If there's anything particularly interesting from that game, I might do another match review. We'll do a player in focus next week on Bruno Fernandes, so that's going to be interesting. If you are new to the channel, if you're watching right now, and if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe for this player in focus series. What I do is I take a current Man United squad member, analyse what they did last season so far in their United career, and then analyse how they might fit in under Erik ten Hag. So we're going to do that on Bruno next week. So we've got the Bruno video next week. We're going to do a wide player or forward scouting sort of report. So we're going to talk about some forwards and wide players that Manchester United should be looking at, in my opinion. We'll do that as well. And we'll probably do a preview for the Brighton game. Yeah, only makes sense, really, doesn't it? We'll probably do a preview for the Brighton game. Might get some guests on. We'll see how it goes. Look at a preview for the Brighton game, see what the starting lineup maybe should be. And also, as well, next week, I'm probably going to look at doing a Premier League predictions. So make sure you tune in for that. We're going to do our Premier League predictions where we think everyone's going to finish. So that should always be good fun, because we'll look back at that in May and you'll say to me, Threadman Chazza, you were absolutely wrong. And yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I probably was wrong. So that's going to be good fun as well. It's going to be good fun as well. Bertus, another comment. 4 right-footed attackers, Rashford, Martial, Elanga, Bruno, United lacks lefties. I would swap Bruno for Sane and buy Ziyech. Sane for me, Sane is a top player. Sane is a top player. I really like Sane. You've also got to remember as well, Sane can play on the left. I know Ten Hag will probably want him on the right for an inverted winger, but you've also got that versatility. He can also play on the left. He did that under Pep as well. And he's played under Pep Guardiola. There are some similarities between Ten Hag and Guardiola's management in terms of their tactical style. It's not the same, but there are some similarities. So, yes, I would look to bring a player like Sane in. And Ziyech, I think, is a no-brainer, to be honest with you. Maisha, do you agree that Atletico can win the game because they have a player like João Felix? Yeah, exactly. And it's not just that as well. Atletico Madrid have got more experience than our players. Atletico Madrid have got more grit, more determination. They've got some nasty, nasty antics, really, what they do. I mean, none of us enjoy it, really, when they dive around on the floor and everything. They did that, obviously, in the Champions League last season. They're more experienced, and they've got the quality. João Felix would walk into our team right now. He can play as a 10, as a wide player, as a striker. He can play on either side. He's a top player, and that's what we're missing. I think we're missing some quality players at the moment, to be honest with you. My only problem with Erik ten Hag's system is at times it feels like walking the ball and you can overcook your omelette. Yeah, it's a good analogy. It's a good analogy, and I think it's about balance, isn't it? It's about balance. I think if you remember the Arsenal team under Wenger, when they had the likes of Wilshere, Cazorla, these type of players, you saw Arsenal often looking to walk the ball into the net. You need to make sure you have the right balance, and that's why I think you do need a player. You probably need a player like Ronaldo or a Rashford or a Bruno in the team somewhere. But if you were to play Rashford, Bruno, and Ronaldo, then you've got too many direct players, too many goal-scoring forwards. You need some creative players as well. So you want the likes of Sancho and hopefully another wide player as well to create chances for Ronaldo. So it's a good balance, Alien Tenor. You need creative players, but you do also need that goal-scoring player, and that's what Ronaldo will bring you if he comes back in, or if we sign a new forward player. Hopefully, we can do that if Ronaldo were to go. Bertus, I prefer the United Academy teenagers, Savage and Iqbal over McFred. Yeah, I agree. I think they offer more balance. I think Savage can dictate play well. I think Iqbal is really good at progressing the ball. We saw that against Liverpool, and then the game after as well. I think it might have been, was it the Melbourne game? I think they both played as well. So I think particularly against Liverpool, they shone. So yeah, definitely. 50. There's 45 people watching right now, guys. Please do get involved in the comments. If you are new, please subscribe. We've got a lot of content coming. Please like the video as well. I may do another match review tomorrow. We'll see how the game goes, see if there's anything interesting to talk about. But we've got a lot of content coming up on the channel in the months to come. A lot of content next week, a lot of talk next week. It's going to be another big week in terms of talking about transfers. We need a lot of players in. Red Devil Axel says, who would you start in the midfield against Brighton? Fred, Donny and Eriksen would be my pick. Ideally, we'd have Frenkie de Jong here and ready, but we don't. He's not going to be here. So it's going to have to be Fred. It's going to have to be Fred. It's going to be Fred. Goodness me, it's a difficult one. This actually, before I address this comment's important. Bill Davidson, thank you for this. I didn't think that pre-season red cards counted, but when I was watching the stream, they were saying that apparently they possibly can count towards suspensions for the league, which I thought didn't make any sense. But if there's anyone with any knowledge of this, please do let us know in the comments. But it's a very good question, Bill. Thanks for that, because I was thinking about that as well. I actually messaged a couple of people on Twitter to see if I could find out more about this, but nobody really knew. So I didn't think that pre-season red cards counted. I think that's ludicrous, really. But you know, if it is, it is. I would probably go with Fred. I'd definitely go with Eriksen if he's ready. I'd go with Fred. I'll go with Eriksen, and I would go with. I'd probably say McTominay for now. I'm not a great fan of McTominay. But I do think that Erik ten Hag will like McTominay's physicality. I do think he will. Fred, Donny, and Eriksen, I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. But if Frenkie de Jong comes, I would probably go with de Jong, Eriksen, and maybe Bruno or Donny. But I don't particularly think that Ten Hag will leave McTominay out. I think McTominay is valued for his physicality, etc. Although I'm not a great fan of it, I think McTominay will probably play for now, to be honest with you. Bertus, Bayer is way better than Maguire. Sam Maguire, good station for Hubbles at Dortmund, fair enough. Fred, Eriksen, Bruno, yep. Freddie's out of the Brighton game. Red card counts. Where have you seen that, Alien Tenno? Can anyone put a link in the chat if you see any news on Fred? Please leave a link in the chat about Fred, because I just don't really understand what's happening with Fred at all. Whether the red cards do count. So please let me know where you get your source from, because I want to know what's going on with Fred, because I didn't think they counted at all. Bill says, do you like the dugout change? I don't know why that's been done. Can anybody, anyone that's got any idea why the dugout's been changed at Old Trafford? I'm not quite sure at all why that has happened. I didn't see them. Sorry, Ellington. I didn't see the handball decisions. I saw the commentator saying it was a handball, but I didn't actually. I would need to watch that back, I'm afraid. I remember your opinion that Bruno isn't world-class player. Yeah, I think Bruno is a decent player, but I don't think he's world-class. I've always said that, and I will always be honest with people. Like you guys watching right now, if there's anyone new here that's watching this, I haven't got any agendas against any players. I will just always be honest with what I think when I see football. I won't get carried away by the mainstream opinion. I often actually am the one in the slight minority when other people, when other people have other opinions. I sometimes think the opposite, because I just view football a bit differently than the majority sometimes. So I just say what I see from my own eyes. Although I am a bit blind without my glasses on. Bill Davidson, who arranges Madrid match, not a friendly? Oh yeah, it was. I felt like we were playing the Champions League, the round of 16 again last season. That's what I felt like. I thought we were in a competitive game, to be honest with you. It was quite crazy. Okay, on MUTV, I'll have to look into that, Fred. If red counts, then it'd be tomorrow. Again, I don't know how it works, so we'll see what happens. But please let me know, guys, if anyone's got any more news on that Fred, any confirmed news on that Fred while we're on show, please just let me know, because I want to really see what's happening with Fred. Because I actually think with the midfielders we've got available at the moment, we actually need Fred to play right now. As silly as that, I don't rate Fred that highly. I think he's probably a level above McTominay, but I don't think that really says much, to be honest with you. I think Fred's a decent player, but I do think we need him right now with the midfield options we've got. I just don't think we've got enough. But any more questions, guys, get them in. Man of the match, guys. Man of the match for anybody. Who's gonna win the man of the match for me? I would probably say Malacia. I thought you can't. Ericsson obviously played very well, but he only played for half an hour or so. So for me, I'd go with Malacia. What about everyone in the comments? Get your thoughts in. What about you guys in the comments? Who was the man of the match today? I would say Malacia. I thought he was good in possession. I thought he was very progressive when he got on the ball. I thought Malacia showed how press resistant he is. Very, very press resistant. When he was being put under pressure, he took his touch, he took his time. He can turn out of pressure well. I thought he was decent defensively. I thought he recovered well. I thought positionally wise he was okay. I thought Malacia was probably our best player today. But I don't think there was any standouts. I don't think there was any standout players. But I thought Malacia was probably, if we had to choose a man of the match, then I thought Malacia. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, guys. Malacia, that would be my pick. I thought he was a sort of 7.5 out of 10 performance. Maybe you could push to an 8. I thought he was just very consistent throughout. Really, I thought he played quite well. So that would be my pick, guys. But let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys think for the man of the match? Yeah, Frank agrees. Eddie Anteno agrees. Shaw and Malacia, that's going to be an interesting one. I think Shaw, obviously, we've heard he had an illness today. But I think Shaw has been here for a long time. I think he's played well in a few seasons, but I don't think Shaw has ever been consistent. For me, from what we've seen in pre-season, I've been more impressed by Malacia. And remember, guys, people who are regular watchers of the channel, we did an analysis on Shaw. I think it was about a week ago, and a lot of people in the comments we're in a bit of a debate: who should start, Shaw or Malacia? And I always said, I think let pre-season decide it. Let the performances decide. And for me, Malacia has been better in pre-season, so I think Malacia should play. I really do. Next week, I think Malacia should play. Malacia for me too. Bill says, yes, agree with you. Hoping Sunday's match a friendly match. Some players as last season saying no, better for United win today. Yeah, I think tomorrow will be more of a, well, obviously Ronaldo's going to play, so it might be a little bit more interesting. But I think tomorrow is going to be more of a sort of the academy players. I think some younger players getting a chance. I think that the likes of Martinez, Ericsson might get a little bit more time. So I think Ericsson obviously played for about half an hour today. I think Ericsson might get another 30, 40 minutes maybe tomorrow. I think Martinez will hopefully get, obviously, because you've got to remember, Martinez and Ericsson played in the week as well, the friendly against Wrexham behind closed doors. So I think Martinez obviously played, I think it was a full game as well, or more or less a full game against Wrexham. So I think Martinez will probably get a good run out tomorrow. I think Ronaldo will play, and I think it'll be mostly young players around him. And to be honest with you, I think I'm looking forward to watching the game. I think should be a good blend of players, to be honest with you. Charlie, under current UEFA rules of conduct, a red card for a stamp is a next official game ban. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, thank you for that, mates. Prediction for tomorrow? Yeah, I think we'll win tomorrow. I think we'll win 3-1 tomorrow. I think you'll see Ronaldo turn up. The Ronaldo situation is interesting. I don't know what everyone else thinks I'm a bit disappointed with how Ronaldo's acted. I've got a lot of time for Ronaldo with what he's done in the game, what he's done at United through his career. But I think I'm a bit disappointed with the way that Ronaldo's acted this summer. But I wouldn't be against him leaving, but I wouldn't be against him staying if he's going to knuckle down and get on with it, not disrupt anything, work hard. Then I won't be bothered. But for me, I think Ronaldo will probably get on the score sheet tomorrow and announce himself with a "see" and all that tomorrow. That's probably going to happen. You know what he's like. Malacia, man of the match. Your thoughts on Eriksen's debut? Yeah, I agree with Malacia. Eriksen, very impressed. Should have had possibly 2 assists. Should have possibly had 2 assists. His set piece delivery was very good. I thought he looked a real threat. And yeah, I think if Eriksen had been doing what he did today in previous games and he joined us earlier, I think Eriksen may well have replaced Bruno next week. But I think because Eriksen hasn't even played a competitive game in front of a crowd, he hasn't played more than what he did today, has he? Yeah, because he played behind closed doors against Wrexham. And he obviously played half an hour today. So he still hasn't played a game in a crowd with a bit more intensity. He hasn't really played a game like that yet. So he can't really play 90 minutes next week, really. I wouldn't have thought he'd do that. Unless he plays, I don't know, unless Ten Hag thinks he's really ready. But I think Eriksen, again, will have to be embedded in slowly. But I think he could replace Bruno eventually. I think he could. I think it depends on the types of opponents, though, Red Devil Axel. I think we've got a lot of different things we can do. If we want to play if De Jong comes and we want to play De Jong next to more of a defensive minded player like Fredo or McTominay, when we're playing maybe an opponent from higher up in the league, we can do that. But if we're playing against a team that sit back very, very deeply, who frustrate us, sort of block the spaces, and we want to play the likes of Eriksen and Bruno together, I think that could work. I think it could work. I just think they'll obviously have to occupy different spaces. So they'll have to get used to where each other want to play, where each other want to go on the pitch, so they don't sort of not sort of get in each other's way. You maybe on either side as eights, one operating the left half space, one operating the right half space, linking up with the wide players and the fullbacks from the respective sides. Fair enough, but I just don't want them to impact negatively on each other's game. So I think they could work, but they'll need to develop a relationship. Simon or Simon, if you're going for the Spanish version, I'm not sure whether it's Simon or Simon, but today Fred played very well. Down the side of the game was the red, yes, and that long pass to Donny, you were supposed to pass to Eriksen. Yeah, Fred played well other than the red card, I do agree. I think Fred was better on the ball today. Yes, Maisha, you're right. Shaw isn't good enough off the ball. Malacia is better than Shaw off the ball for me. Yes, could very well be the case. I'm not going tomorrow, but I will be going to the Brighton game. All things good. I will be going next Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, I say I'm looking forward to that. I'm a bit concerned with the squad that we've got, but obviously it's the first game of the new era under Erik ten Hag. You've got to be excited, even though the squad isn't ready. He needs a lot of luck. Yes, he does. Hoping players sold soon for funds for new player. Look at City. Solomon Blaze putting Glazers out. Yeah, you're right, Bill. You're fully right, mate. You've made a few really good comments so far. I agree with what you've said. We need to get rid of, for me, Bailly. Although you might think Eric Bailly is a good defender, he's better than Maguire or whoever, whatever you think. I don't think Ten Hag fancies Bailly. He hasn't really been involved. He's had links to Italian clubs. Roma, Jose Mourinho apparently wants him. So I think Bailly may go. I think Williams may go. I think Tellez may go. That's going to generate a good £40 million there. Bailly will go for 10, 15. Williams will go for 15. That's 25, 30. And then Tellez is going to go to 12 to 15. So you've got about 30, let's say 35 to 42, 45 million, around 30 to 40 million pound there that you can hopefully, we know how Glazonomics works, doesn't always go back in the kitty to pay for new players, doesn't always go back in the wallet to pay for new players. But look, I think that if we can sell those players and hopefully that will make way for new signings. But I don't think we should have to wait for players to go out. I think we should be signing new players anyway, to be honest. We've lost Matic Pogba, Lingard, Cavani. We've lost all these players, and we haven't replaced them really. So we've got a long way to go. Casemiro, yeah. Fabinho and Fred as well. I think when they play for Brazil, plays next to Fabinho as well. Charlie, fancy appointing the Bishop's Place before the Brighton game? I'll have to let you know on that, mate. I'll have to let you know. It depends when I get there. Mate. I'm not sure what time I'm going to be getting there, but I will let you know, mate. I will let you know what time I'm getting there. There's a bit of a problem, isn't there, at the moment with trains and strikes with the train workers. So I'm not sure at the moment what time I'm going to be getting there for, but I will let you know, mate. I will let you know. Okay, guys, we've been running for an hour. Really enjoyed it. We've had a lot of interaction. We've had a lot of viewers. Please, guys, if you are new watching right now, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. As I said, I produce a lot of new content. Really enjoyed the interaction. Please smash a like on the video as well. Follow me on Twitter at @FredManchester if you're not already. I will be back next week with a lot of content. Next week is going to be a bit of a bumper week for content. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Make sure you turn on the notifications for the new videos. I hope you guys all enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your time off work if you can get any. And yeah, overall view, still a long way to go under Ten Hag in terms of the signings this summer for me. I think there's a lot more signings that are needed. I think we need to get Frenkie de Jong in if we can. We need to get at least one wide player in. We need to get a forward in. I think we need to get a right back in as well, and possibly another midfield player as well. I do think, guys, I think we need, you could even argue we need 5 more signings, really, to give Erik Ten Hag the proper good go at next season. If we go into next season with this squad, we're going to really struggle, guys. And this is not being negative, but this is just being realistic. A manager can only do so much. A manager cannot perform magic, sorry. Ten Hag has already said a coach can't perform magic. He needs his signings. Let's back him in the transfer market. Thanks a lot, Alien Tenno. Thanks a lot to everyone else who's joined. Take care, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll be back next week with a lot more content. Stay safe. See you later, guys. Thanks a lot for the